All right, get in, loser. We're going healing. You're not judgmental, you're just projecting what you rejected in yourself. As a generation, we need to be more self aware and we need to understand the reason why we react a certain way. And I think a lot of us are repeating patterns and repeating reactions that we never got the time to sit and question them and kind of understand where it does actually originate from, because a lot of the time some people don't even realize that they're doing it. So let's talk about, that part of you that judges. Sometimes you may see somebody and think, oh my god, that's so cringe, who does she think she is, like she's so full of herself, or she's so arrogant, or I could never post something like that. And the truth is that you're not really judging those people just because you simply want to judge them, but rather you're just projecting what you rejected in yourself, the parts of yourself that you had to kill in order to survive. And the truth is, you weren't born judgmental. Nobody is born judgmental, but it's something that you learned along the way. Maybe from a young age, you learned that being soft is not safe. That, for example, being creative was not really practical. And if you were really confident, maybe you'd get called arrogant. So that because people around you taught you that this was not accepted, you ended up suppressing that part of yourself. When somebody does live in that freedom, unapologetically being their most authentic self, you flinch and you start criticizing them. But perhaps it's sometimes activating the part of you that you have abandoned or that you've rejected in yourself. The thing with judgment is that it's almost never about the other person. It just shows and it reflects what's really inside of you, your own internal conflict. Because think about it that way. If you were really at peace, somebody else's joy would not trigger you and would not annoy you. Their confidence wouldn't annoy you. Their authenticity or their success would not feel like a threat to you. And when we haven't met ourselves fully, these people become that mirror that we hold up to ourselves, but we just don't want to look into it. So instead of going inwards and understanding and resolving that conflict inside of us, we end up either labeling them or criticizing them. And by the way, with judgment, this means that you are just protecting your ego, your wounded ego, because your wounded ego doesn't want to face the pain of the fact that this could have been me if I was safe enough. Something that I have witnessed a lot of the time is, for example, a woman that would post online. That woman posts like very authentically, very much herself, doesn't really care about what society beauty standards tell her who and who not to be. She's just very unapologetic about every part of herself, right? And then a lot of the comments that she would be getting, like in terms of hate comments, are just full of people projecting the parts of themselves that this woman has that they have not accepted themselves, like not being a size zero, or not being skinny enough, not following beauty standards, not looking like a Facetune edit, not being like tall enough or light enough, whatever the case may be. They're not hating on that woman for being so imperfect, but rather this is who they had to suppress as a human being, the imperfect part of themselves, in order to be accepted by society or liked by people or being praised for something that they have thought that they needed to fix about themselves in order to feel confident or feel beautiful or whatnot. This is why they judge people when they break the rules that they made in their heads. A big part of healing is to question everything around you and question everything that you believe in, if this is really factual and is this really true, or is it just based on a fear that other people have had and they're just projecting onto you. Sometimes these beliefs are not really your own to begin with. You just took them as your own because somebody convinced you a while ago that this is the way how it should be, and you took them for your own. Because the people that trigger you the most are not always your enemies. They're often your reminders of the very version that you have left behind. Part of judgment also comes from self-sabotage. Maybe I just don't deserve to be successful. Maybe I don't deserve to be so bold and so expressive, and what if I make the wrong move? All those are fears that you have, and this is why you judge other people for doing it so unapologetically and so fearlessly. So here's the mindset shift on this. And here's how you can start shifting projection into healing. So next time you feel that urge to criticize, pause and ask yourself, what part of me is so bothered by this? And write it down, whether it be on paper, whether it be on your notes app. And then after you have validated that emotion, ask yourself, what are they allowing themselves to do that I still feel unsafe doing? And then go deeper. Try to rewind and ask yourself, when was the first time that I learned that this was unacceptable or I was not allowed to do this? Who taught me that? Again, question the beliefs. And then finally, once you have worked through that, ask yourself, in what way can I start incorporating this into my life again to give myself what I really desire most in life? Put it like a task on your to-do list. It could be something as simple as saying no or voicing how you feel in a conversation, or wearing something that you like, even posting a picture without any filter or without any modifications in order to fit like society beauty standards. A big part of healing also is not like creating this new identity or not being this new other person, but rather coming back to who you always were, but you were just like suppressing that part of yourself or that version of yourself. Just like any other negative emotion, judgment is also an invitation for us to look at that part of ourselves that we suppressed or rejected and to reconnect with it and to reclaim it as our own. So you're not a mean person, you're not a judgmental person, you're not a hater, you were just hurt. And that judgment puts an armor on it, on that hurt. So when you start healing, you start reclaiming all those parts of yourself that you have abandoned or you have been taught that they were unacceptable, because you will never judge something that you are. Instead it will inspire you because you have already made peace with that part of yourself. So next time you feel judgmental, like, don't shut it down and don't feed it either, but just ask yourself, what part of me is just begging to come out right now or to feel seen? And then after you have seen or recognized that part of yourself, go and heal it. Go and give it the most unconditional amount of love there is to heal that wound and to make your inner child feel safe again, to express themselves and to be bold and to be authentic and all those things. And stop waiting on other people to give you the permission that you could have always given to yourself to be everything that you've desired in life.